Well, hello, 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 and thank you so much for joining us for the Women Who Invest information call, Investment Education That Works. One of the clear reasons that we're hosting this call this morning is to share some information with you, those of you who shared that you would like to find out more about investing, because that's definitely something we were not taught. But what I wanted you to do first and foremost, as we get started, I want you to imagine with me for a moment. Imagine that you have a future in which you're able to accomplish your assignment here on earth, a future in which you can now decide more and spend more time with your family and your friends, whether that's traveling and doing the things that are most important to you, or if that's sending your child to college without paying, without having to pay for those dreaded student loans, supporting the causes that you care about, or taking care of your parents in their retirement so they don't have anything to worry about. I want you to imagine that. Now what I want you to think about is what's currently happening. What's really happening in the world today, with an emphasis on what's happening in the United States and why you should invest. So as we look at this information, I want to share some statistics with you first and foremost from the U.S. Department of Labor and Economic Growth. When we look at the information, these are the facts, guys. There are over 62 million women in the U.S. between the ages of 21 to 64, and they're working. They're either waged workers or salaried workers, but only 45% of these women are participating in retirement plans that are offered by their companies. And the reason that I share that, guys, out of those 62 million women that are working, but there are some who are more likely to work in jobs that simply don't qualify for a retirement plan. So there are things that would behoove us to do differently, and this is a great reason as to why we should invest. Almost 30% of non-married women that are 65 or older are poor or near poor compared to non-married men in that same age group. And when women, most times we end up, in many cases, no matter the situation, we may have to live alone. And when women tend to live alone, they have the lowest median income of any type of household that exists in America. The other side of that coin is that women earn 76% of what men earn. That's resulting in what we call the wage gap. It's resulting in an average lifetime earnings difference of $250,000, $250,000. And at the end of the day, guys, women, we tend to live 5 to 7 years longer than men. So when we think about this, and you now ask your question again, why should I invest? So when we think about that wage gap and the fact that women only earn 76% of what a man earns, then investing is an opportunity now for us to close that gap. You see, guys, we are responsible for ourselves, and it's very important that we move forward and try to do the things that are going to help us to move so that we can get to that life that we talked about in the beginning when we talked about imagine that. See, the vision of Women Who Invest is to be the world leader in investment education for everyday women. See, investing was not something that they taught us in school, not in K-12, not in higher education. That was simply something that was not taught to us. But it is something that's very important for us if we plan to build generational wealth, to build a legacy, to be able to support the issues and things that are most important to us. The mission of Women Who Invest is that we're dedicated to the advancement of women so that we are now able to invest, so that we're now able to close that wage gap because we're doing things differently. We're making our money, keeping our money, and growing our money. So who are we? Who is Women Who Invest? This is a virtual and face-to-face masterminding platform, and it equips women with information, you get education, you have resources, and you have services that are provided to you so that you learn to grow your money and protect your money. And we help women learn and grow through experiences, through connections to experts, and also that peer-to-peer learning. So as I'm talking to you today, let me introduce myself. Who am I? I am Lynn Dimmons, and I'm the CEO and founder of Dimmons Enterprise. And Women Who Invest is an entity underneath that umbrella. See, what we do here is educate professional women in the different asset classes of investing. As I stated earlier, this is something that we were not taught, but this is also an opportunity for us now as women to make better choices. Instead of getting to the ages of 50 and 60 and thinking, oh my gosh, retirement is just around the corner, what do I need to do? We'll now have a plan. We have some things in place that'll now help us to not only build generational wealth, but also to build cash flow in the event we need that. Because oftentimes when we think about it and we look at the statistics and the data as far as retirement is concerned, the average person doesn't have $1,000. The average woman does not have $1,000 saved for retirement. So there's definitely an opportunity here for us to do things differently. So how do we begin to do things differently? I want to educate you. I want to share something with you that we were definitely not taught, right? So are you ready to invest? More than likely you are, because you were intrigued and you are here for this call. So what do we do? How do you start on this investing route, right? Beyond your traditional 401k at work, because most of us have already signed up for that. We're already taking advantage of those opportunities through our jobs or through other situations that have been provided to us. So first, you have to select a brokerage account. And you say, Lynn, what is a brokerage account? Why do I need a brokerage account? A brokerage account will allow you to invest. So this will allow you to sell and purchase, or you hear it as selling and buying stock. And when you own a stock, you essentially own a piece of that company, right? So this puts you in a completely different mindset. And what I want to recommend to you today, to everyone that's on the call, is that you go today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do not pass go. Do not collect $10,000. Go today and set up an actual online brokerage account. You can actually go to a face-to-face location to set up an account. However, online makes it so much easier. It's right here at your fingertips where you can actually go in and do this. And what we'll be teaching you is what we call the DIY approach. This is the do-it-yourself approach to investing. So what do you need to do? An online brokerage account can be found in a variety of different places. So I have different things. If you're looking at this online, you'll actually be able to see my slides. And if you are not online and you're simply listening to me, if you just send me a text message to 470-236-8282, I can get you a copy of this presentation so that you'll actually have these slides. But the information as far as the online brokerage accounts, there are so many out there that will be more than happy to have you to start an account with them today. For example, TD Ameritrade is one of the companies, Charles Schwab, E-Trade, Fidelity, and the list goes on and on and on, but those are just a few that you can actually go out and utilize. And even Thinkorswim, that's another opportunity by TD Ameritrade. So we have different opportunities as far as online brokerage accounts. So that's the first thing that I'm going to suggest or recommend that you do. See, what's the goal? What is the goal with having this online brokerage account? When you open an account, you're able to buy wonderful businesses that you like. You say, Lynn, well, what does that mean? Those wonderful businesses that you like, those things that you buy on a regular basis that you utilize within your home. I want you to look around your home, see what those things are, and then go do your research. So you have to be able to research the financials of a company to know whether or not that's truly a wonderful business that you need to be investing in, right? So make sure it's something that you like and something that you're going to be able to look at for the long haul, because you got to remember these things we're teaching you are going to allow you to now be able to invest on your own. By being able to choose and invest, you have an opportunity to work with your broker, okay? So in working with your broker, there's something else that you need to note, and that's the commission fees and whether or not those commission fees are by trade, the number of trades that you're doing, or is it by the shares, the number of shares of a particular stock that you may be purchasing. So you need to make sure that you familiarize yourself with those different aspects and research that. Do your due diligence when you go in to set up these accounts. Oftentimes, and the major reason that I recommend that you set up the online account is because they have services available to you online. So if you go online today, I guarantee you, and you let me know whether or not this happens, but I guarantee you a little chat box will pop up on the screen, someone asking you a question, how may I help you today? Set up your account, or something along those lines. But if you're not an online person, you also have the opportunity to call people over the phone. You can actually call and speak to a representative, and they'll be more than glad to address your questions or answer your questions. So how do you find a broker, right? Because that's very important that you find someone that you like and that you trust. What I highly recommend that you do, first and foremost, is to do a Google search. Go online and search broker ratings. When you do a search for those broker ratings, it's going to give you all the information that you need to know, and you'll be able to compare what are some of the pros about this broker, and then what are some of the cons. And you'll see what other people are saying, and you'll also have the opportunity to go in and read testimonials. So when I say do your due diligence, that's what I mean. Go in there, do that search, do a Google search for online broker ratings. So you can go in and look at that. What are the positives? What are the negatives? What are other people saying about this particular broker? Whether you think that's going to be the best fit for you and your monies and what you plan to do in the future. In addition to that, when you do find someone that you like, there is a series of questions that you need to ask your broker, right, or your potential broker. And you may want to write these questions down. If you can't write them down right now, remember, you can always contact me to receive this recording. What are the trading and commission fees? This is very important to note because you want the best ROI. You want the best return on your investment, not giving those away to someone else. But you need to be aware of that so that you're able to calculate now what your ROI is. Are you going to truly be earning money, gaining money, growing your money, utilizing this platform? The other question the second question that I highly recommend that you ask is what types of accounts are offered? What do they have available to you? Because they may have some accounts for a beginning level investor versus a more experienced level investor, and they'll be able to explain those different things to you. The third question that I recommend that you ask is what minimum is required to invest to have an account? Because there are so many different accounts out there. Some of them may say $1,000 to start, or some may say $5,000 to start, while others may say you only have to have $500. So it's very important to know what is required to have an account with that particular location. And if you have cash, the fourth question I would definitely recommend is you ask, what are the interest rates? What interest rates do they pay for cash accounts? Because sometimes they will pay you interest for depositing your cash there, and that could also be another opportunity to you. The fifth question that you should definitely ask is what kind of banking amenities are offered? Do they have any extras that are provided to you, any extra benefits that you may be able to take advantage of? And then the last question you should definitely ask is, are there any restrictions on what I can buy? Do they restrict you to a certain type of commodity, or is there something else that they have in place because of a certain amount of cash that you have? You're only restricted to being able to do business over here. So make sure that you are aware of those things well in advance by asking those questions of your broker. All right? So the first thing I recommend to you is to open up a brokerage account. So what information are you going to need to open a brokerage account? Typically, when you open an account, it asks for certain pieces of information. It's definitely going to ask for your Social Security number or your tax ID number. It's going to ask for your driver's license, your address, employment information, your annual income and net worth, as well as your date of birth. What I will say to you, if you have a tax ID number or an EIN. If you have, you can definitely invest as a business. Now, I am not a tax accountant, but I will tell you this. If you invest as a business and you make gains, you will be taxed less than if you go in and invest as an individual person and you make gains. You will be taxed at a much lower rate, okay? I hope you caught that. So there are different opportunities where now you can open up your business and say, hey, I want to do this investing thing under my business name. So now that instead of being taxed at 40%, I'll now be taxed at 20%. See, guys, that's the game. That's the money game that we have to learn how to play that others have learned. So make sure when you go in, think about whether or not you want to do this as an individual person or as an entity representing your business. But you do have the opportunities there when you're opening up this brokerage account. So what's the question to ask yourself? The number one question to ask yourself right now is, do you have enough money to start investing? Okay? Do you have enough money to start investing? And what I'll say to you is some of those accounts that are available to you online, you are able to start investing with as little as $500. So there's a tremendous opportunity for you to go in and get your feet wet. And the number one thing, though, before you get your feet wet is to make sure you completely understand the company that you would like to invest in. Make sure it's a wonderful business. Make sure that you understand the fundamentals behind that before you put your money in any investment vehicle. But let's say, hey, I don't have any money, Lynn. I have no money to invest right now, but I am seriously interested in learning about investing. Well, this is what you can do. No money, no problem. There's actually an opportunity for you to go in and start practice investing with play money, with Monopoly money. It's called a paper money account. So you can actually sign up for a paper money account. They give you Monopoly money. They'll give you like $20,000 in Monopoly money so that you can try investing without risk, okay? So you can go there, create an account, sign up for that paper money account, open up an account, install the software on your computer, because you got to practice, and I implore you to do that first before you go in and just start investing with real money so that you can now do it yourself. So you say, Lynn, all right, I like that idea. I don't have any money, so where do I go to invest with paper money? So here's your homework. All right, you ready? You didn't think you were going to have homework today, did you? Well, we have homework. I'm an educator by nature and by choice. So your homework is to do this. The first thing I want you to do is to Google Think or Swim paper money, okay? You need to go Google Think or Swim paper money. Once you Google that name, you will be allowed to be able to go in and open an account. So Think or Swim is an opportunity through TD Ameritrade, and we talked about them earlier. Open an account. You'll need to install paper money, install the software on your computer, okay? Once you install the software on your computer, you click on the Think or Swim icon. Once you click that icon, the login window will pop up. So on the login window, you simply click on paper money, log in with your username and password that you created when you opened your account. Now you'll be able to go in and actually test. Find the company that you've been doing research on or that you're interested in. Because I'm in Atlanta, I'm just going to say Coca-Cola right now, right? I can go in and do some research and look over the fundamental analysis of that particular company. And I'll say, okay, I want to buy stock, but you buy stock with paper money. Do not buy the stock with your real money at this time because you want to get in there and practice, okay? So you get in there and you practice and you practice and you practice and until you get this thing, right? And then after you've practiced and you think you're ready, now you can go and take your real money and start to investing. So you said, Lynn, how much real money then should I invest, right? I say use the sleep test. And what do I mean by the sleep test? It's if I invest this amount of money and I happen to lose it, so if I invest this $1,000 and I happen to lose it, can you sleep, right? That's the sleep test. So before you get involved and start using your real money for investing, I implore you to go ahead and try it with the paper money, with this Monopoly money, so that you can get a hang of it and start learning some of the subtle nuances around investing. So in looking at this, don't forget, this was your homework, guys. Go back and start doing this. So one of the reasons that women who invest, one of the major reasons for creating this opportunity is to get the investment education out, to get it to the people who desire to make better decisions with their money. And what you'll be able to do, yes, I've given you the nuts and the bolts, right, to investing, but I say you will be able to go out there and do everything that you need to do just because you sat in on this call and I told you about a brokerage account, I told you about where to go to practice, and I told you several different pieces of information or strategy was provided for you today. But you definitely need additional education because you need to know what all of those things mean. What are those ticker symbols? What are prospectus? What is a candlestick, right? What is a bull and a bear market, and what does that mean? And what are the other indicators that also impact, right, those different types of investments? So that's the reason we have the Women Who Invest opportunity, and one of the major reasons why you should join. It gives you the opportunity to take control of your financial future. We cannot control the fact that women only earn 76% of the income that a man does, but we can control the fact that we now have an opportunity to invest in a different way to get the education that we need to be able to not only make our money, but keep our money and grow our money. And we don't have to depend on someone else who may not have your best interest in mind. See, once you have the education that you need, you can make those decisions. You can make better decisions on your own. In addition to that, when you join the Women Who Invest community, you'll be in a community with like-minded women who are dedicated to improving and building generational wealth, to be able to leave a legacy behind that supports what they love. So one of the things that I am working on and love to do is to help the homeless, right? Because, guys, there have been some very cold days in the winter and there's some very hot days in the summer where the homeless community needs our support. A lot of the programs that the government has put into place are no longer viable. So we as the citizens have to be able to step up. So this being able to invest and engage in this way with my financials, I'm now able to put some more resources towards that dream, towards the opportunity to help the homeless. So what are those things that you want to do? What are those big dreams that you have that you've always put on the back burner because you didn't feel that you had the money to support and move forward? See, guys, this is an opportunity now for us to be able to do things better. Get the investment education that you desire so you can make the best decisions for whatever it is that you would like to achieve in your life. So what are some of the benefits? I'm inviting you to join Women Who Invest. So what are the benefits of joining, Lynn? I'm so glad you asked. We want to just simply build a strong foundation in investment knowledge so that not only you have this knowledge, but you can pass this knowledge on, pay it forward. You can now pass this on for generations to come. So it doesn't just stop with you. You got to think about what you're also doing for the little ones that will come behind you. In addition to that, when you join this community, you'll have access to monthly investing webinars. And these monthly investing webinars will not only be the basic education. Yes, we do have to lay the foundation to make sure everyone is on the same page, but you'll also have access to other experts who will also be sharing information with you. We'll also invite in other tax accountants, other brokers, so that we can have some candid conversations with those individuals around the investments and the opportunities that are available to us. I'll also provide weekly office hours to answer any questions or to discuss opportunities. So, for example, I've given you a homework assignment to go in to create your paper money account if you don't create and open up another account. So then if you have any questions and you want to discuss that, you could easily, or several of you could easily come meet with me during the office hours. Of course, those are virtual, and we can actually talk about what it is. What did you enjoy? What did you not like, right? As far as what you did, what hang-ups or what challenges are you experiencing as you're going through this process? So there's a tremendous benefit in that alone, being able to have someone else to go to that has no vested interest in your actual investment there. That's for you and your family. The other benefit we'll have is the mastermind meetup in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll have a mastermind meetup here in Atlanta in June of 2018. There will be no additional registration costs for anyone who joins the Women Who Invest community. In addition to that, you will receive a financial assessment upon joining the group. So in this financial assessment, what you'll be able to do is to get a big picture of where you are, and then we'll also go ahead and start your planning, because you need a long-term plan so that you can continue to grow, to make your money, keep your money, and then ultimately grow your money. In addition to that, you'll also have access to our Financial Confidence Now Academy, which we are so proud of, that has all of the courses about money management, whether you want to start your own business, as well as the investment information will be housed there as well. So you'll have access to a plethora of information that you may now utilize throughout your community as well. In addition to that, we'll have a private Facebook group for members, so that you'll have an opportunity to connect with each other and also share any concerns there or meet up with me. And you also have, this is very exciting, you also have the opportunity as we grow and expand across the country to apply to be a chapter director for your area and offer quarterly meetups for other women who also invest. So you have an opportunity to connect and network with each other and find out about other investment opportunities that may exist. And there's so much more, guys. I'm just giving you the bare bones minimum today because I'm cognizant of your time and the fact that we will not be here much longer together. But I did want to share with you, so how do you join? I'm so glad you asked. Go over to bit.ly/WWInvest. That stands for Women Who Invest, so you can get in on this opportunity. This is over a $5,000 value, guys, that I'm presenting to you today. But because we at Demis Enterprise are dedicated to increase the number of women investors, we're offering this today only for $299. That's the annual fee. This is what you'll pay for the entire year. Typically, when people attend one-day webinars with me, they pay $49 for that webinar for a couple of hours. So that if you did one webinar a month, that's over $500 there alone just for attending those webinars. So you have an opportunity here to participate for the entire year for only $299. If you don't want to pay one payment and you would prefer to do a monthly option, that option is $29.99 per month. So it gives you a different opportunity to space that all out. There are some different things that you will need to follow up on as we progress throughout the opportunity. But, guys, this is a value that you simply cannot beat. It cannot be beaten. So I wanted to take a moment to invite you to go ahead, go over, look us up on the web, bit.ly/WWInvest, Women Who Invest, over on our website, where you have the opportunity to either schedule a follow-up consultation with me if you have more questions that you would like to ask, or if you're ready to go ahead and jump in on this great opportunity, you'll see an opportunity there to go ahead and click and purchase so that you can go ahead and get started. So I'll take a moment here and see if there are any questions from anyone who is on the line. If there are any questions from anyone who is on the line, if you will signal for me and let me know. by raising your hand. I see we have some folks who are on the telephone as well as on the computer. If you're on the computer, again, I see that you have seen the slides that have been presented today. The others of you who would like these slides, I'll definitely be getting those out to you as well. But if you have any questions you would like to share, you can go ahead and type those in the chat if you choose to do so, or send it to me via text. If you have my text information, I can follow up there for those of you who are on the phone, or if you would like for me to unmute your phones, you can do so as well. Okay, great. I do have one question here that has come up, and it's asking, so Glenn, when does it start? Great question. And I did fail to answer that question. This opportunity begins in March. We'll start in March of this year. We'll have the pre-financial conversations in February so that we can go ahead with those financial assessments and get everyone started up. But everything kicks off in March. And why are we kicking off in March? Because March is Women's History Month, of course, and we thought that that would be a great opportunity to kick things off in that way, celebrating women, celebrating our opportunities as we move forward, and just providing, you know, the great information to get other women connected to what is a novel vision and mission, just so that we can all grow together. Yes, thank you so much for that question. All right, let me check over here as well to see if I have any other questions. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get in. Yes, I do have one. Okay, I've been asked to repeat slowly the link. Yes, it is bit, B as in boy, I-T as in Tom, .ly / WW Invest. BIT, so bit.ly, bit.ly / invest. And it was the question, what was the first question? I'll repeat that. The first question was, when does this opportunity start? And this opportunity begins officially with all of the webinars in March. We will do all of the pre-financial assessments and having those conversations in February so we can start building out the plans for everyone so that we will find out exactly where every individual is who is interested in the opportunity. And March, because it's Women's History Month, we're going to kick off with a lot of different celebrations and opportunities to connect with each other. So, yes, thank you so much for your questions here. All right. Yes, okay, great, great. Thank you for your comment. You would love the slides. Okay, great, great. All right, you said you're listening. You would love the slides. Great. All right. Okay, so let me see here, Vanessa. I'm going to need to unmute you so I can get your question because, the questions you should ask. Okay, great, great. I got it now. Thank you for repeating that for me. So let me go back to that slide. The questions that you should ask when you talk to your broker, all right? The questions to ask your broker. The first one was, what are the trading and commission fees? The trading and commission fees as far as the different types of investments that you will look at. You need to ask them what type of accounts are offered. What type of accounts do they offer to you? Do they offer accounts for the novice, for the expert? Do they have accounts for people with a certain amount of money to invest? So you ask them what type of account. You also ask them what minimum is required to invest to have an account. So when you ask them, you want to know, hey, can I start an account with $500 or $1,000? What is the minimum that you require? And it depends upon what you plan to invest in many cases. The next question, what interest rates do they pay for cash accounts? Believe it or not, some of them will pay you interest for having a cash account there that you're utilizing to invest. Okay? What kind of banking amenities are offered? This is also very helpful because they have some connections and partnerships in many cases with other banks that they may be able to provide with for you, but you'll have to follow up with them on those opportunities. And are there restrictions on what I can buy? Are there any restrictions on any of the types of things that you can buy because of the amount of money that you have or do not have? Do they only invest in a certain sector? What does that mean for you as you're making those decisions? Great. Awesome. So I hope that I answered your question. Yes, thank you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions that we have for the good of the group? Remember, you have homework. Don't forget, go over and Google Thinkorswim paper money. Open up an account so you can get that play money, that Monopoly money, and start thinking about looking at investing and trying it out for yourself. See how well you will do or not do, and then come back, join up with us at Women Who Invest, get the education you need so that you can live the life that you need. Yes, ma'am, thank you. She says she's doing her homework. Great. All right, guys, so I don't see any additional questions at this time, but I do thank you so much for joining us for the call. And go over to the website bit.ly/WWInvest, Women Who Invest. Thank you so much for joining this morning, and you have a fabulous week.